I feel like every 2 to 3 weeks, I'm talking about the Texas Rangers, and for good reasons. Just today, the Texas Rangers signed Robbie Grossman to a contract. Now, is Robbie Grossman an all-star type of player to make a big fuss about? No, but that's okay because I think the Texas Rangers have done a lot of things to add some depth into their lineup and their rotation this offseason, and I feel like a lot of people don't give them the credit they deserve. The Texas Rangers went out and continued their spending spree this offseason and signed a lot of dudes that are going to be amazing for the foreseeable future. And of course, the most notable name this year being Jacob deGrom, and who wouldn't want that guy on their team? I know when deGrom first signed, he had his press conference, and me and many others all clowned this dude for saying, I came to Texas to win a World Series, and that he believes in the front office that they will make the right choices, and that they already have an established team that can do so to win one. And in that video I made about the press conference, I talked about how it's outrageous to think that the team can get a World Series in the next 2 to 3 years, but little did I know that the Rangers would literally spend the entire offseason after getting deGrom buying out a rotation of guys and continuing to prove that they mean business. So sorry deGrom, I wasn't familiar with your game. Now going back to deGrom, it was reported a few days ago that he didn't throw a bullpen because he had tightness in his left side of his body, but that seems like a constant thing with deGrom. My hopes, like many others, is the dude doesn't get injured during the season, and if he doesn't, it's going to be nice to have a Cy Young caliber pitcher like deGrom pitching for a pretty much brand new Rangers team. deGrom is arguably one of the best pitchers of our generation, and one that many people will watch games solely based on wanting to see his pitching performances. He has consistently proven that he is not someone to mess with. He has constantly been in the top 10 Cy Young voting his whole career unless he's been injured, and has already been on track to have a Hall of Fame career. The dude is a 4-time All-Star, won Rookie of the Year, and had the ERA title, and has had 2 Cy Youngs to his name. Now the hope is deGrom will stay consistent and healthy and is barely in his prime and continues to dominate as an ace for the Texas Rangers for years to come. And honestly, I love watching deGrom. He's a big reason I got back into baseball a few years ago, and just because there's just not a lot of pitchers like him out in the league. But say deGrom falls off, right? The dude gets injured midway through the season. That's fine because the Texas Rangers rotation is still really solid. The 2 pitchers who got picked up alongside deGrom seem to slot into your 4th and 5th spot according to Fangraphs, those being Nathan Eovaldi and Andrew Heaney.
I know we're not surprised! Andrew heaney!
Yes, that Andrew Heaney. But no matter what you say about these two, they still have continued to prove how solid they can be after seemingly coming off some lackluster years in years prior. Andrew Heaney was not good with the Yankees, but that dude went to the Dodgers and they did some devil ray magic or something, and that dude is electric again. It's like he drank the fountain of youth. He pitched a total of 72 innings with the Dodgers and had a career low of 3.10 ERA with 110 strikeouts. I'm assuming the Texas Rangers are going to stretch this guy out as much as possible this spring training to get him ready to pitch more than 16 games of course in the 2023 season. Heaney only signed for 2 years, and if you can have a pitcher continually be at a borderline 3.0 ERA, that's really good as your 4th starter. And if it doesn't work out, I'm sure Heaney will be flipped at the deadline come next year. Nathan Eovaldi, on the other hand, was someone that the Red Sox looked to play important games in years prior. The kid was amazing in the World Series run they had in 2018. Nathan Eovaldi, yes, had some troubling issues last year with injuries, but when he is healthy, he is arguably an amazing piece to have, especially in your 4th spot. The dude almost won a Cy Young in 2021, and a lot of people forget that, which is a good thing as well because he's arguably going to be pitching through his prime of his career or even close enough. In 2022, he had a 3.87 ERA in Boston, but the year he got voted top 4 in Cy Young voting, he pitched to a 3.75 ERA in 182 innings while having a league-leading FIP at 2.79 and a total of 195 strikeouts. Now, of course, that ERA is a bit inflated just because of Fenway, but still, those 2 people are just really solid to have. Now, besides those 2 people the Rangers went out and got and bought, you guys still have Martin Perez, which, sorry if I'm saying Perez wrong, I know in a video prior someone said I was saying Martin wrong, so I apologize for that, and John Gray. Martin Perez was a big reason the Texas Rangers even got above around 500 last year and really produced a valuable pitching season. The dude had a career low of 2.89 ERA with 169 strikeouts and pitched a total of 196 innings in 2022. That's insane. The dude definitely earned his All-Star title last year and will continue to shine as the second pitcher behind deGrom. Martin Perez is someone that really came off of a couple of seasons that seemed like he was just going to be a league average pitcher, and last year he really proved that he can be better than that. Now, besides Martin Perez, you guys still have John Gray. He's a very interesting one just because he used to play with the Rockies, and we all know how weird balls get when it comes to the Rockies home field. But on the Rangers, the dude has been just a little bit better. I feel like most people wish his ERA would be a little lower lower because in 2022, he had around a 3.9 ERA, so hopefully that comes down for the Rangers. But still, the more I start to think about it, I'm really starting to drink that Texas Rangers Kool-Aid just a little bit, because if you guys remember, like I said earlier in the video, they are continuing to show that they will spend on their team. They spent a buttload of money last year to get Corey Seager and Marcus Semien in 2021. Corey Seager last year was an all-star for the Texas Rangers. He was doing really good before the all-star game, and afterwards it kind of just fizzled out a little bit. But the dude still had some really decent numbers overall. He had 33 home runs, and he played really decent at that shortstop position. Corey Seager last year was an above average MLB player with a WRC plus of 117 and produced a total of 91 runs. This dude was 17% in your league average hitter. Now, of course, that contract is going to get into questionable territory because of how he's producing, but the guy still is a really good ball player, and I'm sure he was probably playing through injuries last year in 2022. Fangraphs has him projected to have an even better season in 2023 with a 270 batting average, which should be back to normal for him, have 25 home runs, and have a WRC plus of 131. Marcus Semien was the other guy I haven't talked about yet that I spent big on. He signed a huge contract alongside Seager, of course, and had a kind of down year according to his standards. He still hit 26 bombs, but he had around 40 home runs with the Blue Jays before he signed that massive contract. But that's okay. I think Marcus Semien will come back into his own and hit a lot more. In 2022, of course, he had an OBP of 258, a slug of 492, and had a WRC plus of 143. He was 43% better than your average MLB player. Crazy, right? I feel like 2021 was just the start of the Rangers getting it all together and piecing little things here and there, but 2022 seems like they're halfway there to be able to contend, especially since that ballpark deserves a lot of love. They recently redid their ballpark a year or two ago, and honestly, fans deserve to have that type of opportunity to go see really good talent in Texas. I generally think the Rangers will be in the wildcard conversation by the trade deadline as long as everything works out and deGrom and some of your stars just don't get injured. Now, because divisions kind of matter but don't really to a sense anymore, just because every team is going to be playing everyone, the standings are going to be a lot different this year. Still, you're going to play a lot of people in your division a lot. So the people the Rangers have in their division, of course, are the Mariners, the Athletics, the Angels, and the Houston Astros. They're going to be your toughest challenge in my opinion. The Astros are coming off a World Series win. The Astros are still going to be ridiculous. They're going to be an amazing team. You got the Angels, which honestly are just going to be another 500 team in my opinion, hot take. Unless something works out with the Angels and they become a really good team, the Athletics are going to keep tanking on purpose, have some really decent stars to a sense, and they're just going to trade them off. And the Mariners are kind of that wild card. I guess Angels are to a sense too, just because they have Ohtani and Trout. You never know how much they could carry a team, but the Mariners are going to be the team that's going to really challenge you guys to really get to that wild card position. Now, the Mariners, of course, are coming off of that series loss against the Astros in the playoffs, and I generally think the Mariners are going to try and make themselves a target because they want to prove themselves again. They just got to the playoffs, they want to get back there, they're a young team and they're eager to get there. I think the Rangers, with the amount of veteran staff they have in their rotation and some people in their lineup, they're going to be really good and they're going to be competitive. I really am looking forward to seeing the Rangers come opening day or maybe a few months after. I think the Rangers, to a sense, might not be must-watch TV, but they're going to be a team I watch every once in a while when someone like Jacob deGrom pitches or Martin Perez. What do you guys think? Do you guys think the Texas Rangers can compete for a wild card next year, or am I just blowing smoke, or am I drinking the wrong type of Kool-Aid? Let me know if I'm wrong, and please tell me if I'm pronouncing people's names wrong or even missing some players you guys wanted me to talk about. Thank you guys for watching. My name's Joe. Have a great day or night whenever you're watching this. Bye.